So here we are, guys, the Boxer MGS. Now we can test the vehicle and show a little bit of the capabilities that this thing actually has. So yeah, it's I gotta say, it's a tank that it can be amazing, it can be bad in my opinion, depending on basically how you play with it, right? Because it doesn't have any armor, obviously, right? This was expected, but it has some very good features, like for example the mobility that we're gonna test. Although pretty heavy, it has an all right amount of power, which means that it can actually go really fast. As you see, the X-ray over here is pretty it's pretty good actually, because look how many empty space we have here. Although there's a lot of ammunition over here and the ready rack is pretty small, so you probably should take some ammo over here. Maybe not everything that is here, but some. It means that you're gonna take a lot of shots and not get killed. But you do have only 3 crew. So head-on shot in like right here. Let me just crew. Right here, for example, you probably kill 2 crew members, and it will make it very easy for you to get killed, right? So, although, like I said, it is an interesting tank, and it has some very interesting features to it, mobility, the gun, the empty space inside the tank, you also don't have a lot of crew, and the right shot on it can be deadly because it doesn't have any armor whatsoever. So, yeah, has a V8 engine. The transmission is sideways, which is pretty interesting if you ask me. It's a really weird way of adding a transmission to an engine, and the transmission is bigger than the engine as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so if we take a look on the modifications itself, you can see, of course, our main ammunition over here is the DM63, which is a pretty good round. I mean, this thing is 10.3, right? So for example, if we go to like a 10.3 like Soviet tank over here, let's choose one and test out the armament a little bit. Maybe, I mean, the T-80B doesn't have the most amount of armor, but it is a good tank for us to actually test a little bit. So if we go to the Germans, hopefully it's already here, right? Let's see. Where's the Boxer? Oh boys, it's not here, so we cannot test the ammunition yet. But there's probably another round, like there's another tank that uses this round for sure, right? So it's the time to see the Argentinian tank has the DM63. We grab the T90 over here just to take a look. So of course we can do the map. As you see, I mean, it's a tank that you're gonna see. The T90 it's kind of an up tier, but as you see, it is very good. But you know, upper glacis, turrets, stuff like that will not die for it at 500 meters, which is a pretty standard, pretty standard kind of distance. If you go to an Abrams, it will be a little bit easier, but it has some troubles dealing with some places as well. Let me find the M63 500 meters. So as you see, it's a little bit easier, but it does have some weird spots that you cannot like do damage. Like for example, I mean, everything is basically a penetration low or possible. Like see, so it can penetrate the turret cheeks, but sometimes you won't, depending on angle and other things. But you probably will just kill a lot of tanks. So that's the thing. Like for the majority of the tanks that we have here, it is something that really does help a lot with this gun. This gun actually helps a lot. But at the same time, it can be hard with some Russian tanks, up tiers, stuff like that. But normally you will be fine. The gun is amazing. Of course, you do have to realize that for the majority of the grind, you will be using the DM33, which is slightly worse. But to be honest, it isn't by much, if you take a look, the penetrations, they're 20 to 25 millimeters difference on the like penetrations all across the board between the two, so it's not a big deal. The DM33 is a pretty good round. It's just that it's better for this BR. I mean, imagine the TAM, for example, has a 10.0 BR and it's still gonna be facing like using this. So yeah, we do have some camouflages, as you see. Pretty cool, like standard ones. This is a cool one, desert one. And of course, since it's a test drive and stuff, I cannot show you guys yet the gun working properly, like fully spaded and stuff, but it doesn't matter. Just for us to take a look on how the tank kind of behaves. Of course, we do have thermals for the commander as well, as you see. So yeah, pretty good, right? And the mobility, as you see, I mean, the acceleration isn't the greatest thing ever, but it gets going. It's fast, you know, it's decently fast. And, you know, the thing is the max top speed. This is where these actually, it's pretty fast. It can get to more than 100 kilometers per hour, if I'm not mistaken. The only thing is that it takes its time getting there, and you probably won't reach it, but you can get there. It's just fast enough, right? And as you see, off-road, pretty good. Of course, it's a wheeled vehicle, so it has the drawbacks and the advantages of that. You have to use accordingly. And as you see, guys, it is a large vehicle. That's my only problem with this, is that it's a pretty large vehicle with no armor. You know, again, I mean, it has a good thing about like just not having not having a lot of, you know, field space. So like, for example, you can get shot at and stay alive just because there is a lot of empty space, especially at the start, when like nobody knows how to shoot this thing properly. But at the end of the day, since it's just through cruise, you're gonna get killed a lot, I think, so if you're not careful. So it's not a tank that you wanna get hit with, okay? It really isn't. It does have some interesting like technologies to defend you. For example, the laser warning system is there, so you gotta think about it. You don't have a lot of smokes, but you do have some. You have basically 4 charges with 2 each. You don't have the smoke from the engine, and you do have the drone, of course. So it is a very, very interesting tank if used in the right way. If it's just rushed in the middle of the map because of the size and stuff, it will get killed very, very easily. That's pretty much the main thing about it. The good part is that it has an autoloader, which I love personally. Some people don't love it. And with that, we have a 5-second reload, which is pretty fast for a gun that has this amount of penetration, right? So it has everything, but the size is pretty big and it doesn't have a lot of armor, so you have to use it accordingly. The depression is pretty good, as you see. Not perfect, but it is pretty good. Let's go to the hill a little bit over here just to show to you guys. It has the hash, of course. It has the heat that can be used for lightly armored vehicles normally. See, like, look at the size of this thing. I mean, for example, here I'm already like getting shot at here, and I don't even see the target yet. So although the depression is it's all right, it's pretty good. To the left side here, it's a little bit better, as you see, which is pretty funny because of the cupola of the driver there. And at the same time, it's such a large vehicle that even with a good depression, you will be, you know, seen very easily from a mile away when you are getting up a hill or something, right? So very cool tank, but it has its drawbacks. But basically this is it, guys. Is it a tank that it's, you know, worth to keep it or sell it or anything like that? We gotta wait. I will wait for my rental that Gaijin gives me to test it out for you guys. I think it's a fun vehicle, but it's nothing too crazy that, oh my god, we need to get this vehicle because it's so good. It's not an Object 292 or a Leopard, like something like that, right? I think it's a niched tank, basically. You gotta like low armor, fast vehicles that have a very good gun, but are very large. I personally don't love it. I prefer MBTs, but, you know, depends on the play style that you have. These are made for surprise attacks, stuff like that, right? But yeah, guys, basically these are it. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what you think about the Boxer MGS. See you guys. Bye.